HHDG.
Peace, HHDG. We are on another episode of HHDG Media, the podcast. And shout out to everyone tuning in right now through our YouTube channel, as well as our Facebook group, HHDG, that's Hip Hop Discussion Group. And as you can see at the bottom banner, we have our website there, hhdgmedia.com, where you can go check out latest music, our written interviews, and our merch and upcoming events. Big shout out to our whole company, which is our family. That is Rock Vader KB, T. Smith, the Mayor, Skelly Top, and myself, Wiki. Together we form HHDG Media Inc. For tonight, we have quite a bit of talent coming from the Olean, New York. These MCs, which is not to say there's a lot more that comes with them besides MCing, but we'll get into that later. But these MCs have shown that their music can be played mainstream radio, underground, independent hip hop shows, all over. It doesn't matter what region, and you can tell from their style, their delivery, their content, speaking on history, race as well, being, a lot of unjust going on, that they're students of not just hip hop, but the culture. And I highly appreciate that. And continuing to push with that, they dropped 3 dope projects together, Blackfest, year after year. The last one just came out on June 23rd of this year, and each one previous, 2022, 2021. And to coincide with that, there's a dope festival that goes on in Olean, Juneteenth Jamboree, which hopefully I get to, visit maybe next year. But it's always around the same time as the albums, which we're going to talk about that because it's a perfect synergy with everything that goes on the album as well as the festival. These MCs, their names is CARN3Y, trestylez100, and LEALE. Also coming on, we have a very talented director who's also part of their crew of Create the Culture. I'm going to let him introduce himself as well because, a nice surprise guest for tonight. I got to give a big shout out to Deuce Hennessy, who put me on to CARN3Y. And through there, I found about the Dear Black Man docuseries. So we definitely got a lot to let the world know about. So coming from Olean, I'd like to introduce CARN3Y and trestylez100.
Hey.
Good.
Appreciate the intro.
Yeah.
Also, LEALE.
Hey, what's up?
Did I pronounce it correctly?
LEALE.
LEALE.
Yeah.
All right. And our surprise guest for tonight,
Big fella.
Lockett Lumpkins.
What's
Poppin'.
Big
How you doing?
Hey.
How you, bro?
Dope, man. So, like I was saying, your music can be played anywhere, and that's a gift in itself. I've listened to the solo work as well as the Blackfest albums, and you got to talk about, influences and upbringing before you can even dive into the Blackfest albums. So who wants to start? Because, this has been a friendship for quite some time.
It's a family, bro. It's deeper than friendship.
Yeah, that's true.
Go ahead, LEALE. You put your hand up.
Oh, so she had her hand up.
She's pointing up.
I'm pointing at you.
Oh, she is. She's pointing at you.
Come on.
Well, I'll get it started. So I've only been rapping for about 5 years now. music was always something that I loved, and I played sports my whole life, and sports was really all I knew. And then once that kind of came to a close, I got right into real estate, had a bunch of success with that, but felt kind of empty. I felt like there was a void. I loved real estate. I loved the people who I was working with, but something just felt like it was missing. And I remember I had one deal where it, kind of went south, and I was just real pissed off. And at that moment, I made a decision that I was going to spend more time on myself. And, I just spent some time in solitude and really had to just think about, what I love and what I want to do. And music was the only thing other than sports and, family and things like that was consistent throughout my whole life. And I'd always been a fly on the wall, watching Deuce Henny and Sketch and Chuck Chin and all these guys being ciphers, but I was a little shy at first, and I never rapped, so I never stepped in, but always something that I wanted to do. So I started to dabble a little bit over the years, and after going through that experience in real estate, I made the decision to just start writing, and I started writing. That was about 5 years ago. And over time, I started to get better and better. And, at one point, I was like, I think I should take this serious. And it took me 3 years before I even released any music. I released a little bit on SoundCloud over like the course of a couple months, but I ended up taking it down because I didn't like the way it sounded. It didn't feel professional to me. And, I wanted, every time you hear, the name CARN3Y, I want you to think a professional feel. So I took the music down, but that was my upbringing. Inspirations: J. Cole, Kendrick, Nas, Hove, Pac. Pac was probably the first big one for me. But all them guys, them conscious rappers who have a lot of substance to their music, who really be talking, about life and their perspectives and the problems in the world and, their own trials and tribulations and inhibitions. And
Right.
That's where I draw my inspirations and the type of music that I create today. Go ahead. Styles.
I go by trestylez100, aka Styling. Where it all started for me, my family was pretty heavy into music. My mom's and my pops is from the city. My mom is from this area. They had me listening to everything from the Doobie Brothers all the way to KRS-One. So music was embedded in my genes from day one. It's just all about the connection. So my pops, he did music as a youth. We used to, throw bars in high school and whatnot. Did a couple recordings at the lunch tables and shit. Excuse me. But it was always something that I had with me since day one. What brought me to my crew was I had a death in the family, and I brought myself back to the area to, be with my family and whatnot, to put me in my mind state that I would much rather be around everybody now than to have to get calls while I'm in California that we got to come back. So I came back to the O, didn't have nowhere to record music and whatnot. And then I linked up with him, literally found him in a church. And ever since then, it was it. Shortly after, found Lay. Shortly after, found Walker. And that was it. That was the whole family.
That's dope.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
For me, I'm like the complete opposite of Trey. I really wasn't surrounded by music or hip hop a lot growing up. For me, music came in a little bit more of a natural, influential way on my own. I lost my grandpa when I was like 12 years old, and I started really getting into poetry. It was just kind of a way for me to vent, and I really had a knack for it, like putting my thoughts on the paper instead of talking about them out loud. So once I realized I really like to rhyme and like kind of take how I was feeling and how I was living and the world going on around me and putting it on paper, hip hop always started to grow on me. I was more influenced by my friends, people at school, and just like the culture in general. I was very intrigued by, and one always was trying to learn more and stay on top of everything. And once I started to combine my interest and my love for hip hop with my passion for writing my feelings and things that I went through, is when I found out I actually was pretty talented. But it was kind of hard for me to, justify it in the beginning because I was like, you really think you can rap? You can rap? Is this what you're doing? So it was kind of hard for me to figure out. It was a really natural thing when I discovered it. And it took me a while to share it with people. I was like writing music since I lost my grandpa at 12 till I was about 15 or 16, but I never really shared it with anybody. I kept it to myself in my notebook and, recorded little voice memos, but I wasn't sharing it with anybody. And then when I was about 16, I posted some snippets on social media and of like the poems I had wrote over beats. And since then, it hasn't stopped and nothing's really been the same. I kept pushing. I really fell in love with the craft and just getting better and, using my voice for a better good and really speaking my truth. So that's how I ran into them. And the rest is history. Now we creating the culture day by day. But
There
yeah,
you go.
fell in love with it as soon as I started pushing it for real. So that's how I got into it.
Dope.
Yeah, I ain't really a musical artist, but music is also like kind of a part of me. My father was a musician. He used to open up like DMX, Lil Wayne back in the day. Before he ran into some legal trouble, unfortunately, and so music has always been a part of my life. It's a big part of who I am. I feel like I have one of the most eclectic tastes in music that I know. As I'm sure they can attest, because they hate a lot of it. But you know what I'm saying, and heavy metal, gospel, anything in between. You feel me? But yeah,
House
man.
music.
So music has always been a part of me. So it's great to have, as a visual creator, it's great to have a group of artists that one trust in me, believe in me, trust my vision, and trust me to create the visuals. And me and CARN3Y met through some bullshit, really, but through that we were able to see the benefit of having each other around. And then he introduced me to Trey and LEALE, and like I said, man, we that birthed the family, and here we are.
It's amazing. Part of me is hearing all of your stories. There was tragedy, but it brought y'all together.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I've lived in Los Angeles. I was in Pittsburgh when I first started rhyming, and then I moved out to LA because where I'm in real estate and music. And then I ended up coming back for a death too. My grandmother had passed away right before COVID hit. Came back, was really thinking about quitting the whole music thing. Really wasn't. I hadn't dropped nothing. I had a bunch of songs, but it just wasn't moving the way that I wanted to. And then tragedy brought me here, and then I met him and her and Joaquin, and here we are. So it's funny how life works. For sure.
Right. Yeah.
I always felt like I was stuck. Because after I had my death in the family, I was sitting around lingering in the area for about 2.5 years. I didn't really find the connections to be able to make music and do it freely the way I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was just like, all right, so something's gonna have to shake, or I'm gonna figure it out. I'm about to be a bag boy or something for the rest of my life. Nah, but like you said, we found each other, got the connections together, and the rest is history. Like Lay said, man, we've been working with each other, ain't really left each other's side since then. It's been what, like two and a half years? Yeah.
A lot of ups and downs, though. A lot of filtration of like people and just mindsets and different things. It definitely took a lot of like learning curves to get to where we're at, like this point of stability, like to build that foundation. It didn't just happen overnight. It's not like we just found each other and then we like instantly clicked. And like it took a lot of like figuring out who each other was, especially with me. Like I'm pretty young still, and like when I first started, I was super young, and like sharing my music with people was super vulnerable. So it was a whole trust thing too. Just, finding people, especially older men, older individuals in the industry that I could really trust and like put myself out there with. So a lot of learning curves, but all for the better good for sure.
Right.
It's really only been like a year and a half, not even year and a couple months. It was like when did you get done with school last year? May?
Yeah.
So like since May of last year is when we first started to really come together. And then after the festival last year, we had so much momentum. We were like, yo, we gotta really keep our foot on the gas, and I feel like we got a team, and like, let's push this. And that's exactly what we did for the last 14, 15 months, whatever it's been. And the growth from then to now is exponential. And a lot of people, I don't think, see it yet unless you hear, you really paying attention. But we're really starting to grow, and It's only a matter of time for where we get to where we want to go.
It's only but a matter of time. It's only but a matter of time.
LEALE, you graduated from the University of Buffalo.
Next spring I'll graduate.
Next spring,
So
okay.
I'm going in my senior year. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
My childhood friend, her daughter actually graduated this year.
Yeah. Yep. I'll graduate with my bachelor's in the spring, and then we'll see where we're at by then. It's like he said, our lives will be changing a lot in a couple months. So I don't know. We'll see where I'm at.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Now you all brought up experiences in coming together. What's one of those big experiences throughout your music career right now that you would shed some light on?
Who wants to start? I'm not starting.
Oh, man.
Go ahead, Lay.
Well, I feel like 2 weekends ago it's hard to not be the answer. Like our festival this year, like I feel like that's hard to not be like that. See we the proof, right, Trey? But now, like I just think that there's been a lot of little things that we've done and little mini accomplishments that I don't think we shed enough light on sometimes. But like I just think 2 weekends ago in itself just kind of wraps it up and puts a bow on it. Really, being able to bring our communities together, where when I left for college, I didn't really receive a lot of love when it came to me rapping and, going outside of the box that way. We all have different stories from our hometown, but for me, like when I left, it really wasn't a lot of positivity. And for me to be able to come back for the few months that I get to and just bring all the positive back to the city with them, like that's probably what I think deserves the most light, because really what we did is unprecedented and our city's never seen it. Man, I feel like a lot of places in the area have never seen it, bringing artists out from all walks of life, to come here for a positive purpose. Like you don't really see that. And that's just because of the work that we've been putting in and like staying true to who we are and sticking together and just little things behind the scenes people don't see that makes things like that possible. So yeah, the festival this year, I'm gonna give all my flowers to that, even though there's so many things that, little things that we've done since that definitely deserve recognition, but the festival and the album for sure.
Yeah, now there's been, the festival is definitely, if I had to pinpoint one moment where to this point, it really felt like we really doing something, it would have been the festival, especially because we dealt with so much adversity during the festival. We tried to have an outside festival. We didn't do a good job planning and didn't get a tent. They were hella expensive, but we had a backup plan and we executed the backup plan to perfection. And then everybody's having a good time and everybody's vibing. And then literally right before we go on stage, a fight breaks out and the whole shit stops, but we kept our head, we kept our focus, and we executed our performance. And that says a lot to who we are and how far we've come in our progression as just humans, for real. And being able to battle adversity, because the reality is it's just life. Like it's never going to stop. So if you had to go one moment, it'd definitely be that. But there's been, the Panache show she had at UB, that was a huge stage where it was a full production. We had a full sound crew, production crew, the whole 9 yards. And Trey and I was just really there to back her up. The Milky show 3 weeks ago at Jaden's, that was the first time where I walked off the stage and I was like, hell yeah, like they was fucking with that. Like for real, everybody there, like our crowd presence changed from me to her to Trey, everybody. There's so many different little moments, talks with L Biz. Shout out to L Biz. Ian, you probably know who L Biz is. If you don't, definitely got to get him on the show.
Busy.
Because he's amazing. He's been a mentor. Amazing artist, amazing performer, but there's been conversations with him where he's given us flowers and before we even were, acknowledging what we were doing for real. So there's been several moments, but if I had to pinpoint one, of course it has to be Jamboree.
Now this year was the 4th Juneteenth Jamboree.
Yes, sir.
From our interview when we spoke before with Deuce Hennessy, it seems like it's getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, this year was, man, we almost we like 1.5 times our budget this year. So we've been growing exponentially. This year we had 20 artists pull up from all over the country. Los Angeles, California, Detroit, Michigan, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Buffalo, New York, Rochester, New York. Coming to Olean. Olean's got 12,000 people. Not many people know what Olean is or where it's at. Most people
12,000 or 1,200.
12,000.
Oh,
most people don't even say it right. You know what I'm saying? It's everybody here, and it's Olean. But we had that. We had amazing food vendors where we took Black-owned businesses from the community and gave them a platform, and they absolutely, did their thing. We had Neville Francis and the Rhythm Posse come through on Sunday. He is from right now he's out of Canada, I believe, but he won a Juno Award, which for anybody who don't know is like Canadian Grammy, but he's absolutely amazing. So this year's festival was crazy, but the growth has been insane. Like literally from a party in my backyard to now a legitimate community event. Like we really got involved in the community this year. We got a part of the Chamber of Commerce, did events within the community to promote our brand and our festival. And, it's we got a committee now. Like it's a real deal.
Wow.
It's a lot going from backyard to front page in the paper.
Definitely is, yeah.
I think the biggest thanks we have is for the tree. The tree that low key. Like,
I was like, what are you talking about?
I was like,
now a tree fell on my house right after the first Juneteenth Jamboree. At the time, it was called Black Fest. It was literally just a party.
A whole bunch of ignorance and drinking.
Yeah, we just try to get our together and party.
Better not bring your kids.
It was actually on the 4th of July too. It wasn't even on Juneteenth. But then the next year was the first time that Juneteenth was a holiday in the state of New York,
which is big. Like,
so,
hello, sure,
we're here. Come on, backyard cookout to a festival.
And you would, man. We've only performed on our grand stage twice. This is our 4th festival, and we've only did it twice where we performed on it. It was so, like he said, there was so much stuff that just kind of smacked us. Like, what is it? The second one, it just got rained out. We had to move all the equipment, take the equipment down.
But that's why we executed this year, because we've been through it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a constant learning and growth process.
So experience comes, yeah.
So I was gonna say, like, as dope as the outcome is, like when people talk about the journey and the process being like what really, signifies something, this is a prime example in my opinion. It's like the most involved I've ever been. Like prior to meeting them, like the first year or two, I wasn't as involved, but like just the little things that we find out about each other and about what it takes to really, we really want to do this. Like it's so much more than just sitting in front of the mic and like recording tracks and posting on Instagram. Like there's just things you learn about each other and like failures you go through and it really makes us closer. But like the journey and the process, it was nuts. But I think that's what makes it so beautiful. Because the outcome was amazing, but without all the little pieces that like fell how they did, then it wouldn't even have been possible. So
I feel like we kind of took our structure and used it with like the Pittsburgh show after we did our Toys for Tots drive, and I think that's what clicked for it, because we was like, with that moment when you really think about what you're doing and you realize like, I could really be doing this, like I could actually do that, like. And people are backing what you're doing. They believe in the stuff that y'all doing. So it's like, to me, that was the point in time. Yeah, of course, man. We went out to Pittsburgh, baby.
No, sure. So
that was in January, right?
Yes, sir. So we threw our first show under the I Support model, which is pay what you want. You buy a ticket for $1, $1,000, whatever the case may be, anything in between. We did our first one in December in Olean. In Olean, like that's where we from, so we expect a decent turnout. It's still growing here. Like we're really starting to captivate our own audience in our hometown. But when we went to Pittsburgh, that's the first time where like we took it on the road. I lived in Pittsburgh for 3.5 years, but I was on some real estate shit. I was never on some music shit. So it was like an introduction for me, and they ain't got no presence there. And after we dropped this latest album, shout out to Jim. He DM'd me and told me like he listened. What did he say? He listened to the album back to back 3 straight times. He compared it. Said it was one of the best albums aside from Forest Hills Drive that he had heard from front to back. So like just to hear that and that to know that, you know what I'm saying, you created a real fan who never knew us until we went to Pittsburgh, like that's dope. You know, we're still experiencing that. And you know what I'm saying? I feel like, you know, when I listen to our music and I compare it to, you know, whoever's the popular topic at the time, like, you know, I don't hear too much difference anymore. You know, before it was like I could pinpoint a lot of areas of improvement from cadence to bars to whatever. A little. They might be minor weak spots, but there were weak spots. And now, do we still have room to grow and get better? Of course. I don't even feel like we've tapped into our true potential. But I listen to it. I'm like, all right, people just need to hear it at this point and see it for themselves. And because every time we go somewhere, everybody has the same reaction. Like, damn, y'all dope, y'all energy crazy. Like, I love watching y'all. I love being around y'all. You know. So now it's we just gotta get to the masses. And you know, I think that's the focus right now. How can we get in front of as many people as possible?
Man, the energy shows on the albums, but being that you're speaking on Pittsburgh, you have to let the people know more about Create the Culture.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, it's literal translation. We're from a town where there's not much culture, especially this type of culture. You know, so we're literally creating the culture straight from the mud. You know, Olean, the festival we just threw, Olean's never seen anything like it. And without us, they may have never. So for us, it's about, you know, staying true to who we are, but creating something that we love and value, and we could pass on for hopefully generations. So I think that's, you know, to me, that's what Create the Culture is just creating, you know, it's really that legacy. Like, this is ours, you know, nobody else has done this around here. We're standing on it. You know, this is going against the grain fully. There's nobody ever that has came out of only in New York who has had a successful music career, to my knowledge, especially in the hip hop, you know, lane. So, you know, it's just something that's, you know, we putting our stamp on things here, and we're trying to leave a mark in history.
And we didn't have to try to be like anybody else or sound like anybody else when we did it. Like, I think that's
big facts.
We didn't. A lot of people want to, you know, do something, and you know, there's a lot of talk around trying to make a change and make a difference, and you know, be successful in this industry. But a lot of people tend to, you know, just like look at somebody else and see what's hot, and, you know, have to follow or chase. And I think what's so dope about us is we did the complete opposite. You said, you know what, let's build this from the ground up, just strictly off who we are and what we are together. Because we're all dope, but when we come together, the shit that we can do is just, you know, it speaks for itself.
Got something fair about it.
Yes, sir.
It's amazing, right? The crazy thing that is, how did you orchestrate so perfectly having Blackfest 1, 2, and 3, and also having the Juneteenth Jamboree around the same time?
God
gave me for the vision. We call it our support.
For sure.
You know, after the first one, like I said, the first one was just a party. The second one, we tried to take a little bit more serious. And that was the first year I had just dropped my first album and was starting to take music seriously. I was learning how to mix and master, and I was like, yo, let's just throw a little project together to go with it. And then project was cool. Everybody was fucking with it. And then last year, LEALE came back from school around May, and we were already working on the album, but, you know, trying to show progression and movement and growth, and we put another album together. And then this year we started throwing shows, and we got all this traction. We're starting to turn heads, and it was like, man, like we really gotta put this together. So this year was the most prepared that we were, but even so, like LEALE wrote, recorded, and I mixed and mastered the song in 48 hours. I think so. I mean, it was cool. Oh no,
that should be like that story for me is kind of like a great story to, you know, portray how this works, like that's how all this works out. Huh?
I said, nah, that's another like milestone moment for you.
Yeah. So we're wrapping up the album, and you know, he mixes and masters it all himself this year. So it's a little stress, right? We got a festival to throw too. So like, you know, he's very like a very cordial man. He likes to be on time with stuff. And I was just having one of those moments where I felt like I put a lot of work in. And this year it was important for me to, you know, really put my presence on the album. Like I knew I grew a lot as an artist from year 1, 2, and 3 to where I am now. But for some reason, I just didn't feel like I was really showing it on the album. The tracks were all done. The list was done. And I was just telling him, like what I'm telling you now, I was like, I just feel like something is missing from me. There's a piece of, you know, what I've like, my growth that's missing. And he's just looking at me, well, like, go make a song because we don't have time. He's like, so go make a song. So I locked myself in the bathroom for like 3 hours or 2, maybe 2 hours. And I found a beat and made the track and came back, recorded. It's probably one of my favorite songs that I've recorded in the past few months, if I'm being honest. But that's like a prime example of how it goes sometimes. But you gotta like, I really wanted it. Like I was like, okay, like I'm gonna do it then. I was like, you better put it on the album then. If I come back out of the bathroom with a banger, it better be somewhere on this list. You have to find a spot to put it in. But nah, it was dope, but that's how it be sometimes. Not always. Not always.
That was a joint with Cruz, right?
Yeah.
Talking about?
Oh yeah, and then I got the last
shout out to him getting back to it so quick.
Yeah, the last minute feature on there too. So
We got a couple last minute features on there.
facts.
But hey, we made it happen. But nah, as far as, you know, back to your question, like the album, like it coincides with, you know, the festival, and we're very intentional about that. You know, we celebrating the festival, and it's, you know, it's part of the culture. It's part of who we are. It's part of what we're trying to create. So it's only right that we showcase our music with that. So, you know, that was the intentions behind it. And we got a lot of stories this year about behind the scenes about how the album was created. I spent 8 hours on a verse, longest verse I've ever worked on in my life. Mixed and mastered the whole thing like a damn week. I'd never mixed and mastered anything before. So I had, but not like a project solely. Last minute features to, I mean, you name it. So
you did it all, everything, even posed for the picture.
Shout out to Joaquin for that vision and execution. Man.
I tell you what, y'all definitely got to have a lot of patience to be capable of creating and coordinating all of this. And even 2022, CARN3Y, you had Rookie of the Year. Trestylez, you had the Hiring in Me EP. LEALE, you had Truthful Execution.
Yep.
Plus the Black Fest.
Only 5 songs, man. Come on,
and plus the Dear Black Man docuseries.
Yes, that too. Yeah.
Each one of those episodes are like 40-hour
production
editing. Nah.
Speak on it.
50 hour if you add the. Listen, man, it was a long year for all of us last year for sure. I'm still tired from the docuseries. Facts. You know, and it's crazy too. Like, the docuseries is one of the things that kind of solidified my belief in the group, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, me and CARN3Y linked on a shitty tour, and we shot the video to Dear Black Man on the tour. And I think, you know, the day we left for the tour was the day Rookie of the Year dropped, right?
Yeah.
And I remember being like, yo, like I was, you know what I'm saying? Like I was just coming out of like my own like kind of solitary confinement type mode. So the tour was like my first thing like back in action. And I'm like, I don't really care. Like I didn't really know who any of them are. Honestly, I didn't know any of them besides the head guy. But when we were driving down to Cleveland, CARN3Y played his album, and I was like, oh shit, okay, wait, hold on, time out. I might need to pay a little bit of attention. But by the grace of God, you know what I'm saying, for us to create the vision for the video, and then we executed the video, and it was immaculate. And then when we got back, he was like, yo, like this song is just so personal to me, it can't be left here. Like I want to do something different. And then we started the interview with Jesse, and then we did JR, and I was like, bro, we got to keep going. And then it turned into the 11 episode, 11 episode project that I did with CARN3Y having 2 parts in his episode. So it was, I think for me, like that solidified my connection with CARN3Y, and then seeing the execution of the first festival, you know what I'm saying, and the story behind it. And honestly, no one gets a better seat of the three of them than me. You know what I mean? Because I'm the closest to them visually. I get to see them like in action when they're on stage and off the stage, and I think it's a true testament. I want to give my team their flowers publicly. It's a true testament to all three of them because
thank you, my friend.
First of all, First of all, listen, I've done a lot for a lot of artists, some mediocre, some known. I mean, you know what I mean? And I don't. A lot of them are subpar. You know what I mean? But the fact that like they said, like, you know, I'm from Buffalo, but they're all from Olean, and the fact that like three people can be from a small town that most people have never heard of, and yet it just goes to show like how no matter where you're from, your talent is your talent regardless. And the fact that God was able to unify us just shows the truth of like there's really no limit to what we're doing and our capabilities. You know what I'm saying? With CARN3Y leading us, and you know what I mean, and everyone carrying their weight to just be successful at what we do. I mean, we're all beasts. We're animals in our own way. Like, there's no denying that. Period.
True.
Period.
Yeah.
And if you don't believe it now, I mean, it's really just too late. Like, I've said it in a different interview. I'm gonna say it in this one. Yo, this train is moving. You either gonna jump on board while you still can, because once it get moving too fast, it's too late. Like, I mean,
Too late, yeah.
it's if you don't believe it now, man, you just kind of lost in the sauce. It is what it is. We got too much work to do to be worried about people's opinions anymore. And that's one thing I'm grateful for, right? Like, we really don't talk about this a lot, but what makes us so strong is that when one of us is weak, there's enough of us to carry the other person. You know what I'm saying? We all go through that feeling of doubt. Like Leigh was saying, like, she was like, yo, like, I need another track on the album. She went and got it done. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's just a testament to the support we have within each other. Even when we don't like each other. Even when we get on each other's nerves, trust me, it happens. But at the end of the day, it's all love. And at the end of the day, man, I ride or die for my team, period. And I know they're going to do the same for me.
Aye.
Amen. There you go. Now, being that we do have Joakim on here, I'm going to play the video for Dear Black Man.
Hey, play that joint.
Hey, DJ, run that. Dear Black Man, it's nice to finally meet you. Hello, sir.
This is my good brother.
Yeah. Double Lens Production. Hey.
Dear black man, it's nice to finally meet you. Can't wait to tell you about the things I've been through. 18 years, I was walking by myself. Ain't no fucking way that could be good for my health. Skeletons go deep. Been living in my closet. Fear of the unknown cause a nigga to be modest. I'm just being honest. It's hard to face the facts that I've been living all this time. I know what it mean to be black. Grew up, ain't had no father, just my mother. Her and Graham's the only ones at supper. So many fucking questions, things to discover. Why these white kids always questioning my color. Start to make me wonder, who the hell am I? Why they got me feeling like my brown skin is my demise? You can see it in my eyes, confusion run deep. Start to lose trust, can't tell a wolf from a sheep. Inside the tears leak, can't show it on the surface. Was just a little kid trying to understand his purpose. Tears turn to rage, on fear I turn the page. Smoke my first L, now
Crazy corn woman. He said, what? Said, excuse me? What?
understand his purpose. Tears turn to rage. On fear I turn the page. Smoke my first L, now I'm coping with the haze. Why the value of my life under appraised? Just cause my skin dark. Why the 5 o'clock news only show niggas in chalk? Why I can't just be myself? Always gotta play the part like, boy, you black, you ain't supposed to be smart. Nigga, dead black man, it's nice to finally meet you. Can't wait to tell you about the things I've been through. 18 years, I was walking by myself. Ain't no fucking way that could be good for my health. Skeletons go deep, been living in my closet. Fear of the unknown, cause a nigga to be modest. I'm just being honest, it's hard to face the facts that I've been living all this time, not knowing what it mean to be black. It's hard to run with your mans if you ain't walking they shoes. Know that niggas ain't blind, but still might not see your views. Call me Detective Carney, always looking for clues. Can't swim, but never hesitate to dive in the booze. Yeah, first place I ever found some answers. Uncle Deuce, the first to ever put me on the Panthers. And what it's like to be a black man in a white man's world. And why they calling me nigga when I fuck a white man's girl. Yeah, I swear Tupac was like my pops. Me against the world, forced my mind outside that box. Kids felt like my cuz soon as a nigga heard the locks. Once I started peeping game, it was too hard for me to stop. Just too hard for MTV, not black enough for BET. Just let me be, that hit my soul, nigga. Older brothers dying cold, nigga. This rap shit really kept me out that hole, I swear. Dead black man, it's nice to finally meet you. Can't wait to tell you about the things I've been through. 18 years, I was walking by myself. Ain't no fucking way that could be good for my health. Skeletons go deep, been living in my closet. Fear of the unknown, cause a nigga to be modest. I'm just being honest, it's hard to face the facts that I've been living all this time, not knowing what it mean to be black.
Flame. A movie.
Director Lumpkins.
Definitely.
I saw that right when I met Joaquin, and I was like, oh, so this is what he does? That's like the first thing I got to see.
Man,
well, the first time I seen this man, he had a camera in his hand. I already knew what it was from him. He walked out the car, man. Everybody had a backpack and whatnot. He just comes out, no bag for the camera. He's like, oh, okay, right on. How you doing, cameraman?
Gotta be accessible. Gotta be accessible.
I'll tell you.
Kim, I gotta tell you, when I started sharing the docu-series, a lot of people started asking about that song, and from there, you got some Carney fans through that.
Hey, appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
Got some Double Lens fans too, man. That was that was a movie. I was.
Why can't we gotta get you some merch too, baby?
And like he was, we had only known each other for a week,
like 3 days. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. Like a week. Yeah.
He shot that, and it was another gift from God. It was one of the moments where, if you know, you know. It was like we went to breakfast one morning after doing the treatment. And it was like I felt like he was my damn brother. And I
6 a.m.
And then we was able to on that, and it was like, man, I gotta keep this man around.
Literally, like, yo, we came back to the O after the damn tour, and I don't think I left since. You know what I'm saying?
Now, mind you, we keep talking about this infamous tour that brought these two together. Now, mind you, I was supposed to be there too.
You're lucky you weren't.
I was I was emotionally distraught. Like I was going through hell here in the O. I get one phone call, bruh, we on our way back. As soon as I get back, make sure you're ready to record. We're not doing this shit no more. I was like, bruh, not even 10 hours later, I done went to work, did a half day of work, came back to the studio. All of us made a studio in like what? Or made a whole album in like what? Like, I don't know, like a week and a half, 2 weeks, and mixed, mastered everything. Signed, sealed, delivered.
Listen, and don't let them fool you, yo. They're a production team. They're all shooters. We all work together on projects. I put cameras in Trey and Carney's hands. Lay was doing interviews. Come on, like, yo, like we got tons of stuff in the works. The video for 245 on the way. Video for Culture on the way. We working on movies too. Don't sleep. Listen, y'all. Look, we do real estate, mortgages. What you want? What you want? Yeah. We got it. You know,
and I've been working with my landlord lately too, so I know how to paint.
Like, come on, man. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, like it's
Tricasso, baby.
The fact that so much like beauty could come from literally like some of the most stressful, like bullshit. I don't even know how else to describe it. Just bullshit, bro. Just And the fact that we were able to be here, the three of us, man. I mean, the four of us, is just like, I don't even know how to. I can't put it into other words besides just the grace of God, man.
It happened
The
for a
grace of
reason.
God.
Yeah,
Praise to
No,
the
for
Most
sure.
High.
For sure.
amazing work, y'all.
It's so.
And it's stuck.
Y'all definitely got some family tuning in, so I gotta shout them out.
Hey,
Okay. Let's go, Ash.
Shout out Osh.
Evan was going crazy in the chat.
He's also another shooter for the culture, whether he wants
Facts.
to admit it or not. He's been with me for
Facts.
years. Shout out Ali.
Ali.
What's up, boy? Hey.
Yo, Ali always tuned in.
That's one
Always
of the
tuned in.
DJs that be putting it down on the.
Yeah, he's now an official DJ to Jamboree.
Evan!
Hey.
Evan from the 713.
Hey.
Yo, that dude right there.
Yo, I appreciate you, Ev. That's my boy. Yo, that's the official host of all Create the Culture shows.
Yeah.
Host.
Okay.
Look up his YouTube channel, his Instagram. He's hilarious, and he's a God-fearing man. Got my respect, man. That's my brother for real.
Yeah. Definitely the truth,
All
man.
love.
Talented,
Facts.
funny as hell.
Facts.
He's just down.
Yo, for real.
That's his day
Like
one,
when,
part of everything.
when Carney said, "Oh, my fault. Go ahead, Trey."
No, you fine. Go ahead, my boy.
Like Carney said, man, like one of the biggest benefits of like after the fight or whatever, having Evan get on stage and get everybody back focused on the show, man, was pivotal, man. He did it seamlessly without needing to be told what to do, not being able to coach into it. He's just a natural entertainer in his own right, man, and we're lucky to have him be a part too. Everybody that was a part, man. The DJs, we had 3 DJs. I mean, I kept everybody dancing, entertained. Shout out Elliot and Ali from the O. We had DJ Juice from Pittsburgh. Like, come on, man. Like, and you know what? One of the most beautiful things that I really appreciate is I know they're talented and I love them, and that's why you see me with them. But the fact that, man, wherever we go, man, it don't matter if it's Olean, if it's Buffalo. I mean, it's like Pittsburgh. It don't matter, man. Like you can't help but love us because I mean, Trey is fucking funny. I mean, it don't matter what we doing, where we at, man. We're a vibe. Like, and I'm blessed to have him, man, and I'm blessed to be a part of it for real. So
yeah,
I just can't not say it, man. I don't know what else. I don't say one for me.
I think personally, what I like the most is that everybody that we have doing something, we know them outside of the music. We know the stuff that they bring to the table. So when it comes terms for us to do something for our careers or that's going to put them on too, it goes without question. Everybody comes in trying to put what they got to the table to make something bigger than themselves. That's what this man right here helped do. He helped get that lane right. We was just like, his famous words. I just need y'all to trust me. That's all he said. I know what to do. I promise you, I've been through a lot of shit in life. I'm just going to apply that to what we're doing. Just trust me. All right. Okay. It's okay. Nobody's ever told me that many times. Like, just need you to trust me. Hey, how you doing, Carney?
Thanks,
bro.
I feel like that nigga say that to me at least once or twice a week. Just trust me.
You see what happens?
It's kind of like, it's like the scene off of Stump the Yard where Columbus Short was like, "Don't I always got your back?" To Chris Brown, "Don't I always got your back? Have my back. Just trust me." Every time, for real.
Yeah,
that's why we here.
Y'all give me your trust. And, without that, I'm out here by myself. So.
My Dukes ask me what I'm doing. Oh, what you doing up there, Trey? No, I'm, the normal stuff every day, plotting a whole festival for your city. Like, the normal stuff, being a couple vigilantes with no mask on.
A high-key vigilante with no mask.
Yeah. The culture, baby.
No, for sure.
Now, as far as the festival, has anyone approached you about expansion?
I mean, we got people coming up to us all the time, trying to get involved and offering ideas. Last year, so the Dear Black Men docuseries has now evolved into the Juneteenth Jamboree Committee. I think 9 out of 10 people who were on the interviews are now committee members, and we added a couple others as well. So it's, we've created a family in that sense as well. But a lot of people are trying to get involved. A lot of people are trying to help. It's been all positive from every race, you know what I mean, which is even more dope. So we haven't got any crazy sponsorship opportunities or anything like that yet, but okay.
Yo, speaking of which, what's up with me, Lay, Aj, and Juice? What about our docu point? Like, dear black man, what's up? Hello. Like, you got all the I like to look at myself as a positive figure.
You say I'm not black?
Like you too. Like what?
What did you say, Lay?
I said, why would I have one? I don't know anything.
You just say hello, dear black man. Like,
I was gonna say though, hold on.
It's like saying, why would I be a part of the culture?
We talked about, so we want to do another round, and we don't have to go too deep into it, but we talked about the power of having somebody white and female to share their perspective, just like how your the video did for the promo. Like, you have the most views because
I was going to bring that up. Yeah, she made a very good point in her promo.
It's a powerful perspective.
Speak on that.
Lay.
Not for sure.
Nah, that was like, I called myself the one take wonder because I was gonna rat you out. It took Carney 2 takes for that video.
Oh, it did. Yo, listen, and Lay was so nervous, and I was like, "Yo, just speak from the heart."
Well, nah, I just didn't know what we were talking about at first. But if I'm being honest, I love talking about it, and it's really easy for me to talk about because why do you think I put my hours, my whole life dedicated towards something like this? It's because I really do care, and it really is a piece of me, and I really believe that we have such amazing opportunity for change, and like I said, just growing into this family, there's so many things that I've seen and witnessed, and I feel it, I will never get to know what it feels like in their shoes, but I love them. I love the people I'm around. So I feel it regardless. And I see it. And I'm this individual in the community that has so much influence and so much opportunity to make this positive impact. Why not? Why not start? Who cares if I'm white, Hispanic, black, a girl, 19, 42, why does it matter? You know what I mean? And I preach that in my music about being true to who I am and sticking to what I believe in. And it's just I'd be a phony, to say the opposite. But yeah, that's just a very easy thing for me to, respond to because this jamboree and my family and my crew and what we're doing and the message we're pushing, it is true, tried and true to who I am and what I believe in. So it's not really, a hard thing for me to preach about because I really do care about it. But not for sure. It's dope to be able to be I remember first showing up to the committee meetings and, I didn't really know how to feel because I don't always know where to put my input because I still am sensitive to the topic, in certain areas. I don't always think it's right for me to step in sometimes. Never step in in a disrespectful way, but I don't always think, I need to, voice my opinion with too much harshness or hard voice. So from the first committee meeting though to the last one, it was cool to watch me gain respect from a lot of important Black individuals in my community that have had an impact on my life. One was my kindergarten teacher. So it was it's cool to just watch them grow the respect and see the work I put in, for this community and for Juneteenth and just watch it all unfold and unravel and come together and the place that I had in it. So.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it without you, Lay. Stop
You're
playing.
definitely right about that. Her kindergarten teacher grabbed my shirt, was like, I taught her how to rap. I was like, oh, Lord. I was like, oh, one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. Nick that anyway.
Teach me how to rhyme. First, teach me how to rhyme. She didn't say. She said that Sunday though, because I don't think she'd ever seen me rap live. So she didn't make sure that I was good. And then on Sunday, she was everybody, I told her how to rhyme.
You're fine.
I know, but I had to prove it to her first because she was saying that on Sunday after we had already.
I gotta say, y'all doing great work because, again, when I interviewed Deuce Hennessy and Carney, they broke down the history of Olean and a lot of the racial tension throughout decade after decade. So, what all of y'all are doing with the Jamboree and with your music is great. You're doing great work. Sir, bringing a lot of people together and keeping that awareness.
Appreciate you for real.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. Sure.
Thank you for the bouquet of flowers, my friend, my brother.
Absolutely. Now we gotta talk
We
about.
don't
Okay, what was you gonna say?
I was gonna say, man, we don't do it for the recognition, man. We really do it because it's something that we all truly believe in. Because people like Lay was talking about behind the scenes, and people don't see the blood, sweat, tears, sleepless nights that come along with it. For real, They really don't. I mean, the whole month leading up to Blackfest, I don't think much of us was sleeping at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go to bed thinking about it, wake up thinking about it.
I had a
Never
conversation with all of you like 6 weeks prior, I think it was, and I was like, I'm fully prepared mentally to put in 20-hour days for the next 6 weeks, because I put in one and I was like, this ain't gonna stop. Not if we want to do what we need to do, and everybody was there riding with me. It wasn't just me; it was everybody, from recording to promoting. We were the ones raising funds. We were the ones, creating the videos and promoting them on Instagram, and literally everything from top to bottom. And
all of it.
It took, it was, I don't know a lot of people willing to put themselves through some shit like that. But
I'm telling you,
that's why we are where we are. We're on the trend that we are, is because we're down to get our hands dirty.
There's been times we was on group calls in the morning. I had an AirPod in my screen off, and they still talking. I'm half asleep. Right? Did you get that? Yeah.
Facts. And you know what the beauty is too, though. Like Carney runs this and keeps us organized like a business. You know what I'm saying? And it's built on mutual respect and trust. And when we're not accountable, you know what I'm saying? Like we like when we're not accountable to each other, we talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And those conversations aren't always fun and not always easy to swallow, but that's what I think that's a benefit of working with people you love and care about, man. You know what I'm saying? None of us are trying to disappoint anybody, period. And it sucks when you let down your people, you know what I mean? So that's why we stay on top of each other. It's never out of malice, man. It's always out of love. And I think that is really what makes us so different, man. It's really like love. I feel like it's really at the core of everything we do. No matter the race, no matter whether it's about the visuals or it's on the music end. I mean, it all come back to love and God, period.
Praises to the Most High.
Yep. What I was gonna say is, you gotta talk about the energy that y'all have, because in the beginning I expressed how much you can't be put in a box. There's certain artists that are good at a certain style of delivery. The three of you, it's so expansive, and it's so ill how y'all mesh together. And still to this day on Blackfest 2, the sequel, Ooh Ah, that's one of them tracks right there.
Hey, come on.
Yeah. I sleep on that song for sure. It's like that was one of those ones where I just made it so fast, and now like a year later, everyone's saying like new people that find my stuff. Wow. So, that's love though.
It's happened a few times recently.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That song in particular.
Mm-hmm.
I told you he did his research. I wasn't playing.
I know.
Nah, for sure. Appreciate that too.
Yeah,
So, give us a little insight, just a session of, creating a song. How's it go for y'all?
There's never one or two sessions the same.
they're all good.
But we, like you said, man, like our dynamic range of, energy is crazy. We have songs like Dear Black Man. We have songs like Ooh Ah. And we have them from an individual standpoint to a team standpoint. So it's like, I was driving around before burning and, just thinking about this interview and what we was going to talk about, and just kind of having a reflective moment. And, that's one thing that I think we are great at showcasing is our diversity and our range of what we can offer. And like, I'm thinking about my next projects. Like, I have a project that's going to be coming out, I'm not sure when yet, but called Bad Guys in R&B. And it's not just me singing the whole time, but I'm singing a little bit, but it's more of like a R&B feel, and like, I haven't even really provided too much of that yet. So Trey, man, you haven't even heard the LA 2. This dude's got 18 different personalities but we've literally been able to grab a hold of all of them by the miracle of God and make it sound good on a record. And you've gotten small glimpses of it, through Black Fest 3 and 2 and whatever. But I'm telling y'all, the stuff in the chamber, LEALE singing, you got to sneak.
Come on.
Like come on,
lay with the vocals.
Pieces, like the fact that you saying that now, like I can't wait to talk to you after we start to release new music, because these projects that we're working on, it's like the evolution of us all as artists has been. Sometimes we don't appreciate it enough, because it's like looking yourself in the mirror while you're trying to lose 50 pounds. Like you don't see it on a day-to-day basis. You look back, from pound 1 to pound 50, you're like, God damn. But sometimes it takes somebody to say it to you for you to realize, like, yo, give yourself some flowers, because the work that we've put in on our craft, you could see it on this album. I don't think we appreciated it until it was over. When we looked at this album, and was like, God damn.
It's different.
Oh, damn. But I'm telling you.
In a year.
In a year. Yeah, facts. And the stuff that we have coming that, I'm saying, has some of them were written a couple months ago. Some of them were written over a year ago. But it's and that's what I say, like, I truly don't even feel like we've tapped into our potential yet, because I know what I have sitting on my computer and on my hard drives from these two and myself, that I promise you're gonna be like, what the hell? I can't believe like, where did that come from? And it's gonna be a fun run these next months, years, days, weeks.
I think that it like you've done albums, you've done your fair share of work thus far, sir. And I love the stuff that you're doing. To me, I'm just a little bit more excited for what me and Lay are doing, because this is our first albums that we threw out to the world, man. Like, we really about to smack these things off the park, boy. Carney out there, like, what? Rookie of the year last year was doing his thing. Like, come on now, we gave him his flowers. Athlete, going to talk to him about that. On every scale. And I was like, yo, me and Lay are literally like taking the first big ass step, like off of the curb, like, pink. Damn, it's a little lower over here. Like, what? Like, it's a joy looking at the progression of everybody. Like, you've done your research on his music. Everything that he does is a level up. And for us to not be that same way, that would say a lot about him. So him being like, yo, everybody is held to the same standard. So it's like, if he going Super Saiyan, me and Lay got to go Super Saiyan too. So we got to do everything. We all got to be there.
Visually too.
Not so
visually too, because they definitely pushed me to push me out of my comfort zone. When I see 245, I feel like 245 is very different than anything I've ever created visually.
I think what I'm saying, eyes back on that track too, like that song, that's one of the deepest songs I've ever wrote, and like it's one of those songs you got to listen to it 3-4 times before you even really grasp what put into it. But now going back to what you said about like just how watching him level up, like that's like, how can we not, like, we better step up to the plate. Like I was gonna say, Carney and I had a little back and forth for a couple weeks when I came back to school after winter break. Like I would write a verse, and then he wouldn't talk to me for like 3 hours. He would just text me. He was like, you wrote a verse. I couldn't go to bed before I wrote a verse. Like, but that is how like we got the trilogy, and like that's like Trey saying, like the stuff that we're gonna be able to release at the end of the year with that mindset. It's so cool that when we come together, we can make such amazing things. But we also push each other, like we're competitive. We all started on our own. Little island.
But we've also talked about that from day one, and creating an atmosphere where you can not only be competitive, but competitive in a positive way, because sometimes competition can bring out egos and it can get ugly real quick. But that's not it with us. We create an atmosphere where, whether you want it or not, you're going to get constructive criticism, and nobody ever comes at nobody sideways, like, crazy, but we're all able to call each other out in a positive way, not in a way to degrade you, but to empower you and force you to be better. And I think that's why we've been able to do what we've done so far, is because we've created this atmosphere of like, yo, I love y'all, but I'm still trying to run you on every record.
Facts. You can't. Ain't nobody trying to be the one that get caught lacking. None of us. And I'd be damned if I ain't first, I ain't last.
Come on.
I may not always be friends, but I ain't coming in last. You know?
That's for damn sure. That is for damn sure.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I completely agree with that, and I think like Carney said, man, and the others, I've seen it my own way, you know, where it creates division. But even like working with other visual artists that may come aboard and help us out, man, like there's never a division. It's always about unity, man. And just come back to what I said, man. Love is at the core of everything we do, and I think that's what makes it so different, and that's what makes it so infectious. And why people mess with us the way we do. You know what I mean? Because we show love. Like at the end of the day, no matter where we go, no matter what we do, no matter who we're there to see, we show love. Period.
And it's genuine.
Facts. High key, genuine.
It's not like we doing it because Joaquin's sitting there with his little camera. It's not like that. We do what we do because it's what we do.
I truly believe that's why a lot of the people who have gravitated towards us, that's why. Because even, you know, I see a lot of people, especially within this industry, everybody has this big old ego, and you know, whose nuts are bigger. You know what I mean? Like, I'm better than you. And that's not what we do at all. You know, we go to other people's shows. You can ask Jadenson's. We at Jadenson's show, we was in the front row acting like we was fans. You know what I'm saying?
And we was the openers too.
You just gotta talk about how we got so close with Jadens. Is literally what we're talking about right now. Like, I invited Jadens to pull up to the show. They had never met him, and I was like, just trust me. Like, this dude is dope. He's gonna love us. He's gonna be fit perfect into what we're doing. After the show, he just praising me. He's like, I love you guys. I want to work with you more. Like, the way you energy, your positivity. And that's what I'm saying. Like, when I came up here to Buffalo for school and I was really pushing music a lot on my own, like on my own timing, and, you know, coming together with them and doing what we do, the reception I get back is just nuts. And it's really just speaks on like our positivity together, because I know so many artists out here and everybody's trying to be top dog, and it causes so much turmoil, but for what? And when they get to see that just us by being positive, we're winning, like it's good for not just ourselves, but for the community and like the game itself, because it just proves like what that can really do. Yeah, but that's been our biggest compliment. I agree, like what you said. I think that's why people gravitate towards us, is because
you never have to put somebody down to go up. You know,
come on,
we could do that on our own. And, you know, we bring people with us. You know, if they win, we win too. You know what I'm saying? And it's just about your network and building and just creating positive relationships.
That's what it is. We create avenues while we following our dreams too. That's the big thing. Say nobody around here trying to do that at all.
Like we can speak a little bit, but we're about to do a festival in August out in Westchester.
Hey.
And we just presented the opportunity to the people in the Jamboree, and we already got 2-3 artists who are going to pull up alongside us. You know what I'm saying?
Carpool.
It's
going to the city.
It's not about, you know, like there's enough to eat for everybody, you know, at the end of it. So.
It really is. And unfortunately, if a lot of people adopted that model, man, you see a lot more people wanting. And I think also too, but we don't ever say this, but it's so much easier when you got other people around you. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when I'm tired, Carney carry me, Trey carry me, Leah carry me, and vice versa. You know, like it's just the support, man. It's unlike having them is the support that we have with each other. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it ain't even about like always just talking about whatever it is you got going on, but just being around each other. You know what I'm saying? That unspoken bond, that unspoken support is just pivotal. And, you know, I mean, that's just my advice to anybody watching who might have their own team, man. Like, get you some people around you who do what you do, support you, believe in you the same way you believe in them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's really the secret to the success. For real.
Yeah, I tell them all the time. Like, I talk about family and stuff like that, but like, yo, I ain't gonna name no names, but I definitely would run to my guys here, my family here, before I would run to certain people in my family. I'm not even gonna hold you. And that's just the severity of the situation. Like, it shows that it's more than just bloodbound for us. Like, we really gather together and get it done.
And it's not a knock on any family members. It's a testament to what we've created and how strong our bond is. We really, I refer to them as family every time I refer to them.
Yeah,
that's what it's about. We creating a family, man. We're gonna do this shit together.
Yeah. And speaking of doing things together outside of music, I see y'all also hit the gym together too.
We do it all.
Not me, man. I be eating the occasional cheeseburgers every once in a chance. You feel me? I be chilling.
Hell yeah! Listen,
Turkey
Cardi
brown.
and Lee a lot more consistent in the gym. They be getting
My gym partner is Joakim. If he ain't getting up and getting in, I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it.
Yeah, well,
It is what
listen,
it is.
I want
It
to.
is what it is. Boy, I'll do 40
want to,
push-ups
but-
and then go jog down the street. I'll be all right.
Trey just one of them niggas who wakes up and no matter what he eats, he's gonna have a 6-pack.
It actually frustrates me to the core.
9 times out of 10, it's a bowl of cereal.
No, it
That's
actually kind of makes me mad.
Levels for dinner at CARN3Y house.
Because he just be like, Carney and I will be on like a little kick where it's be like eating healthy, going to the gym, blah blah blah. Trey will come in with his Wendy's, be like, "Mom, you got any candy left?" And he just doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Or Frosties, I'm still good. No brain freeze. I'm good. I'm good.
Pulling up to the crib to sit down with his Xbox, bag of Reese's chips. What you
Telling you, for real.
You know, pulling up with the Xbox is crazy.
You got Carney's candies. I'm gonna have
Shorty. She literally dropped me off at y'all house with Sonic French toast sticks, and I was on it. Like, what? Early in the morning, 2 orange juice. Okay, I'll open the door.
Oh my goodness.
Like, yeah, for real. But it's funny. But like, it's just as much as we different. We all the same, except for the eating.
Except for the eating. All right. Now, what was it? Pretty Bully. I seen that you
Hey,
shout out
I
to
seen
Bully.
you know, the two of you are definitely talented MCs. I don't use the term female MCs because, you know, there's no reason for that. You know, talent is talent.
Facts.
Have you known Pretty Bully for quite some time? Because I've been listening to her for a minute.
Nah, I actually didn't. So I found out about her through Carney because of Biz. Shout out to Biz again. So Carney was actually the first person that like was showing her music and like trying to, you know, work with her as far as that. And then like we were talking about Jadis earlier. So just all these connections. He ended up throwing a show where Biz, Bully, and their whole crew was performing. So shout out to all them. But yeah, she was like one of the first female artists that like when I was watching her rap, like I was really connecting with her. Like I was really vibing with her. I really struggle. Like, and this is nothing against, you know, I know you don't say like, but women in the game, it's just, I struggle to connect because it's just not what I talk about. And it's just not how I want to, you know, that's not my image. It's not my style. And I just was upfront. Like, I was like, she don't know me and I don't know her, but damn what she's saying is fire. And I just could actually relate. Like when guys can hear guys rap and they have those bars where you can connect. And after the show, like she raps like a bully, but she is one of the most cool, like nicest people I've ever met. She actually said in the beginning of the show, she was like, really? Because I heard you up there, and she heard the girl voice and she was like, who's that? So it was kind of a cool connection. And we've definitely talked a couple times about like working together because there's not a lot, like you don't see that at all, especially with women. So that was super dope. But nah, she's super cool. Like one of the coolest artists that I've met.
Super dope. Yeah.
And on the stage for sure.
Actually, Joakim, you know her personally, so why don't you talk about it?
Oh, you do?
I do. So Biz is man, like that's one of my mentors, man. Like he Biz is the reason why I got a camera in my hands. Well, God is obviously first, but so just a quick story. 2019, I saw Biz go to New York City, and Biz is a God-fearing man. And what really, really inspired me wasn't just the visual aspect of it, but to see him get his flowers at his listening party, man. And he was able to upkeep his morals, you know, even when I wasn't looking. You know, the fact that it's drugs, women, alcohol in his face, man. And he was a good, upstanding man and was able to say no and you know what I'm saying, protect his marriage, man. Like that to me spoke so much. So I had already, you know what I'm saying, I already loved him. That was already family. But to see him in his element, you know what I'm saying, do his thing, and then to watch his music video get shot, it really inspired me. And it wasn't until a year later in 2020 I finally picked up a camera. But so Biz has been in my life since 2019, and I mean he's really been a big brother, mentor, and shout out to Team ISB. I stay busy, you should too. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, that's another family of mine. And I've worked with Bully through Biz, and I shot one of her music videos. One of my first. I think we shot hers back in 21. I want to say like May, June of 21. So yeah, so Bully's tight. One of the illest MCs I know. Period. You know, I got nothing but love and respect for her, and I'm dying for a Lay and Bully track because that's just gonna be crazy. And I think that's something that's gonna stop the city. Like, no disrespect to any of the female artists in the town, but I don't think they touching Lay and Bully on a track together. Period. Like, and I stand on that. No disrespect again, but Lay and Bully on a track gonna be unmatched. You know what I'm saying? They go bar for bar with any two females in Buffalo. Period.
I think like 5 people came up to both of us after that. We didn't even know some of them, but we were chopping it up for like 20 minutes, and they were giving us flowers because she had just performed, and they're like, "Yo, like you're super dope." And then they looked at me and they're like, looked at her, and then they're like, "You two?" And they're like, "You two together though?" And we looked at each other and we were like, "Yeah." So definitely, now that this festival's over, man, for sure, like.
We're gonna chop this up into a reel and manifest it.
Yeah, you gotta manifest that. Yeah.
No, for sure, because the visual gonna be crazy too. Oh my god! I literally, as soon as I saw them talking to each other, I stopped doing whatever I was about to do and came on to. I was like, "So we can make a visual, right?" I literally was like, and I just walked away. But for sure, yeah. So that's the fam. They the fam, and honestly. Like, I love, like, when I introduced CARN3Y to Biz, watching them two talk, I was just sitting there smiling the whole time. Like, I'm so happy. It's like when you merge your families. Like, I'm just seeing the people you love connect and love each other. It's like, bro, like, it's just happy. I mean, it's great, man. And we've thrown around, like, a tour. We thrown around some stuff, man. So who knows what's coming, man. And it's a lot. It's a lot going on. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Mm-hmm. Open your eyes.
Definitely.
Pay attention.
Forward to that.
Open your ears.
What's in front of you?
Hear what's next to you.
Nah, facts. Some of the illest music coming out of 716, period. I think they can go to bar for bar with any artist, big name or small, nationally, internationally.
I agree.
There's really no competition. You know what I'm saying?
That's what it is. A lot of people just be talking and don't be saying shit. Like, what's wrong with you? You got a platform and people is listening to you. Why are you talking like that? That's how I look at it.
We need a culture radio freestyle run. Oh, Biz and Bully been on Sway. I know they got the blood. What's up?
I was
gonna say, Sway in the morning.
Crazy.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
Right, how you
Yo,
doing,
Biz
Sway?
live on fucking Sway in the morning. Bully too. They both live on that joint.
What happened? When it's supposed to.
That's a fact.
Trying to be up in there getting clothes, take my jacket off real quick. My bad, Sway. This is Trey right now. Hey, like, come on. That's about to be lit. That's gonna be the whole movie.
Oh, yo, you know what's crazy? I feel like people don't really understand. I really like I feel like our lives really are like movies, and like people don't understand that it's really a movie.
One of the dopest things Joakim said to me is like, Trey, you, Lay, and CARN3Y are no longer regular people. I was like, oh, you're right. You were so right.
Triune's on my live.
Triune, what's up, boy?
Big shout out to Triune coming from the West Coast.
Triune, Melly Rock, what's up with it? Bro, what's happening with it, Travi? My man's Tavian. Hey, you already know. Latrell Kemp.
What else you got for us?
Dope. If a new fan just heard Blackfest 3 for the first time, what would you want them to feel, get back, listening to that new album?
Energy, lyricism,
creativity,
structure of a project. Like after it was done, we about a month, 3 weeks to a month before, like we just had a collection of songs, like it was like a playlist, right? And I feel like that's how it all happened. It's like a puzzle, and you gotta start to piece the puzzle together. So we got the intro, we had culture, we knew that already. I had a beat for the outro and I had a verse on it. I knew what I wanted for the hook, but I pieced that puzzle there. And then we just started piecing these different songs together. And, when you listen to it, and I feel like we've got this compliment a lot, it sounds like a real project from start to finish. There's ups, there's downs, there's twists, there's turns. There's a lot of different types of music, but we were able to make it cohesive. And I think that's like, I'm a project guy. Like, I love Nas, I love Cole, I love Kendrick, I love Hove, I love Pac. Like, all these guys made collections, like projects, real projects, not just singles. And it's art. And so from my perspective, like that's what I'm most proud of. I also think that it was our best, lyrical album for sure, our best sounding album. But for me anyways, and y'all can, speak on this after, but like to me it was just like the project as a whole. Like, I was looking at the numbers after the first week, and there was some that had more than others, but for the most part it was like 100 to 120 listens. And what that told me was, people were really listening from start to finish because it was a great project. There weren't just a couple great songs, it was a great project. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, you gonna say something, Trey?
I was just gonna say the fact that we just literally had everybody coming together and getting on everything. Like these people are not even in like the culture thing that were like that, but they all wanted to come and be a part of it. We reached out to them and like, yeah, we want to put this and bring this to the table with you guys and do that. So to me, the way that it all just, just like, it's not even just us three. Like, okay. What? Okay. Like, it's like, there's a lot of wow moments to me.
I second both of that, but I was just going to say, Carney, like, even what can speak like with that is just what I realize is what proves it is when we're talking about the order. I remember you had an original order and we listened to it and we knew some pieces need to get moved. I think we moved it once, maybe twice. And it was set. And like, you don't see that, but that just speaks for the fact that like prior we went into it with the mindset of structuring a project. We knew what pieces were missing. We're like, hey, we need the R&B joint. Hey, we need this. So when it came to that, like, I know the sequel was not that easy to like, we moved stuff from my knowledge, but like most projects or things that I've like experienced with you guys in the past, it's never been that easy as like, we changed it once, maybe twice, like just a couple tracks too. Like it wasn't a whole reorder because we already had it, structured to be a cohesive project and have all the right pieces to make it what it is. So.
No, facts. And I was watching a Lil Baby documentary last night and this morning, and Charlamagne the God talked about what's the song called that he wrote during the Black Lives Matter movement?
The Bigger Picture.
Bigger Picture. So he was talking about how he grew as an artist, and
they're on the same.
How he was able to execute on an idea, and how that just showed how dope of an artist he was. And I felt like that happened several times through this project. Like the story she told about On Me, proof. Trey gave me proof months ago, probably 3 months ago, and I always knew what I needed to do to it. And when I finally sat down to do it, it took me 8 hours to do it. I worked a full goddamn day on that verse, but it came out exactly how I fucking wanted it. And there's, like she was saying, once we started we had about 10 to 12 songs. We was like, okay, we need the R&B joint. I need the R&B on the outro. I need this, that, and the third. And to be able to have the vision, but also execute it. Yeah. That says a lot about an artist and growth. And now that, I feel like all three of us are able to do that, it's like, man, what can't we do? Because if I can sit here and give you 8 hours of my time and execute on something to perfection to what I wanted, there's no limits. And when LEALE can execute something fourth quarter, game 7, down 2 with 2 minutes left, and come out with a banger and go and get the feature, knowing that we only got, damn near a few hours, that says a lot. And, those are the stories that will continue to get told, where you'll have even more of an appreciation for the album, because you just hear it and you don't even need those stories to know that it's a great project, in my opinion.
Yeah, even outside of like situations like that, I think it's the prior work of the pieces that laid the foundation. Like we finished Save My Soul and we're like, this going on the album, and you know what track that is on the album. We do Catch a Vibe in Pittsburgh, and we're like, this would be a dope Blackfest joint, and we know what that vibe is for the album. So like culture, like we have these things that like were already the foundation. So that like too, like prior work, yeah, last minute clutch stuff is important and it's a testament to what we have done. But I think, you know, just putting in the work, like the sequel, I literally came home from school and made all my Blackfest tracks. Like it was so different this year. We were on the road and we got to grow and experiment, but we knew like
like the sequel is a dope collection of songs.
Yeah,
there's a lot of dope music on there, but it was like a playlist. It wasn't really a project. This, like, I really feel was a project. Like we knew the pieces we wanted. We knew how we wanted it to feel. Obviously, we wanted it to sound great, but the feeling that it provided, and that's where you get the All Black Intendeds, the Save My Souls, the Do You Likes, the trilogies. Those all have different feelings, but they're all intentional. Like we meant to do that. It wasn't just, oh, we just made this record and damn, that sounds great, let's put it on there. It was very intentional, and you know, I think that's just a testament to our growth as artists, but also growth as a team, and being able to recognize, you know, what's needed and then go execute it. A lot of people can recognize it. A lot of people, you know, can't. A lot of people recognize it and can't execute. You know, I think there's few that are able to know what they want and then go do it and go get it. So
we're able to create pretty dope concepts this time. It wasn't like Carney usually said, well, all right, so we got to do something that's got direction. You're absolutely right. Everything cannot just be word vomit like how we really be getting into it. So it was like listening to everybody's mindset. There's been countless times we were just sitting there talking about the ideas of what we wanted to do, and they were all just little thoughts that nobody written down, nothing yet. Like we were just like, oh, it'd be dope to do this, it'd be dope to do that. And like Lay said, we go out to Pittsburgh and then we just on some humbug and we out there in the studio and make a flame track. And it's like, all right, yeah, we're taking this back to the O. We're definitely taking it back to the O.
That's another moment on the album. That was one of the first records that we created, and that was right after the Pittsburgh show. We was hungover, went to eat. Nobody was feeling good, but we had committed to the studio already. And I'm one of the types of people where I really didn't want to go, but I knew if I sent the bread that I would force myself to go. So I said, fuck it. And I just sent the bread and I was like, all right, we got to go now. And we pulled up and we were there for, I think, 3 hours. And, you know, we chilled, smoked, do whatever for the first like hour. And then the engineer, shout out to Studio 22 in Pittsburgh, he was super talented, played all types of instruments, and he just started going.
You don't work with Mac Miller and all that.
And the next thing you know, shout out to Kill Ali, him and Trey just started rhyming back and forth, writing. Me and Lay started working on the hook, and next thing you know, we got this whole ass song that just came together. And like that was the first time, you know, we had done that, to be honest with you. And it's just like dope. There's a lot of dope moments for each song. There's a story to each song for real. But to put together that project, you know, it's dope. And I think, you know, I say this for everybody, like I'm truly proud of that.
Some of the best memorable albums have the best structure and sequencing.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But a lot of people don't one of the best things that neither one of them mention is all the time they spend together. We spend so much time together that I feel like them as artists, I feel like they can look at each other and know what the other one is thinking. You know what I'm saying? Because being able to watch them as a fan and partner, you know what I'm saying, being able to watch them just bounce off of each other, it's like magic. You know what I'm saying? Like it is. Because I feel like they don't. I mean, I don't know what's going on in their head, but just watching them, like when we're at Studio 22, and I'm filming them, and I'm just watching them. Trey does one thing, Carney does this, Lay does that, and it's just like ping pong, like table tennis, just bouncing it back and forth. And then 30, 45 minutes into the session, I feel like they were already vibing, and then like an hour later, the song was done. Literally, like I don't think we were there how long were we there? What, 2 hours, 3 hours?
No, we were there for 3 hours, but like I said, we spent the first like 45 minutes bullshit, and the last 30 minutes to 45 minutes just listening to the record over and over again. So
yeah, it was
Yeah,
really
sure.
that was like the quickest I've wrote, and like really loved my bars too. And like I think you came up, I heard you like you were like doing the catch a vibe thing, and I go, wait, keep that going. And then I just started doing it too, and I was like, we should do it together, because I was like, our voices. But I heard him humming it, and I was like,
For sure.
I appreciate y'all taking the time. Definitely a dope album, dope albums, solo projects.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Joaquin, Double Lens Productions.
Yes, sir.
Great work, man.
Appreciate
So
you.
one of my last things before I let y'all give your shout outs is gotta talk about Double Lens Productions, Top 10 Entertainment, LEALE Records. People know.
No, we coming together. We're working on behind the scenes on that, forming one entity. Top 10. I have a LLC for that right now, but we're working on forming our own that we can all be, not just involved with, but partners and ownership. I believe in ownership. I preach ownership, and I think there is no create the culture without the four of us. We have one of us missing, and we are not create the culture. So I think that's important, and we're going to continue to be ourselves, but work together. It's funny because a lot of people call us a band or a group, like we only do things together. But
when are you guys gonna play?
Yeah.
Like I don't play nothing.
That's funny. Rana just joined, and remember LEALE and her band.
Yeah,
Rana's on the live.
yeah. So now we're just gonna continue to work together, man. We got the media side down. We got the artists. We're continuing to build. We're looking for producers. I feel like we have strong affiliates. Shout out to Evan 716, the host. DJ Elroy, DJ Juice. They're people.
DJ
they may not be
Ali.
directly in the camp, but they in the camp. Jadence. There's a lot of people. Biz. All these people who have influence on us. And now we're able to reciprocate that. We got some shows coming up that will get announced soon. We got some, like I said, projects, music in the background. We got actual films, not just music videos that we're working on. We're going to continue to build on a docuseries. We've got years worth of work on our minds, and it's finally, for me especially, it's beautiful to know that I'm not wasting my time. I've tried a lot of things over the last 3-4 years and spent a lot of time that, I don't look at it as wasted time because it ultimately led me to where I am. But, I can know with the utmost confidence that when we're working on something within this, I know I'm not wasting my time. And I know that, it may take 3 years to get this done, but that's okay because it's going to come out beautiful and it's going to be worth it because this is what I want to be doing. Is what we want to be doing.
That's right.
So you're gonna hear a lot from us. We're definitely foot is still on the gas, all gas, no brakes. So that's what I got.
LEALE Records. That's just. I remember when I had to drop when I was going to drop my first track like 2 years ago. I'd never done it, and they're like, you gotta put something. I'm like, I don't have a record label. Like, what do I put? What do I put? They're like, just put anything. It doesn't matter. So I just. LEALE Records is.
I was about to say, what is LEALE Records?
I've never heard of LEALE Records.
Who the hell is that? Who is that?
I thought he just exposed it.
Who the hell is that?
I'm glad we were all thinking the same thing. I'm like,
that's how you know he's doing his research though, because that's just the thing that's at the bottom of like my Apple Music, Spotify. Like I don't.
I thought he was saying I want to know about LEALE's record, like the stuff that she's got going on now. Then I was thinking like, why the hell he don't want to know about me or what is LEALE's records?
Once we figure our stuff out, that name will change. But that was just, I wasn't gonna put I needed something. Like I didn't know what to put there, but yeah, LEALE Records. Hey, you never know.
Put the wool over my eyes with that one. I said,
you never know. You never know.
Yeah, I'm glad to pull you aside after the interview, have a conversation.
Like, yo, it was like, yo, after Mans leaves, we all staying in here. We getting to the bottom of it. What the hell is
Right. I was kind of confused. I was like, Reality Records.
I know all you guys made a
Everybody
face.
was like, what?
What is this? It's the first I'm hearing of this.
Got something on the side?
What is this? What is this blasphemy?
Nah, but like they said, man, listen, you know what I'm saying? It's in the works, man.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
real. We all bosses.
Dope, man.
For sure.
True expression of what family can build together.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Dope work, man. All around. You know, it like you said throughout this entire interview, it's more than just music. So many avenues that y'all.
That's right.
Dope,
The
man.
fact that you see that and you understand that speaks volumes. Because it was a point in time where everybody, all the 1,200 people in the O, there was a point in time where half of them didn't even notice that.
You know, no, but for real though, Trey on to something, man. There's a time where the four of us collectively didn't see it. You know what I'm saying?
I went from walking into a 7-Eleven from, oh, yo, Trey, you trying to go play ball today, to, oh, I seen what you and Carney and Lay been doing. Y'all be doing y'all thing, dapping me up, and all. I'm like, bro, I'm trying to get a muffin. Like, leave me alone. I ain't even putting gas in the car, and you over here all on the shit about. I'm like, thank you, bro. Yo, keep doing what y'all doing, bro. I rock with that.
That's great. Yeah.
Being out in Buffalo, people
no
come to LA like, oh my God, I think that's her. Nah, for real, it's a real thing. They're not making it up, man. It's real.
Regular people. I'm taking that to the grave.
But still humble.
Let's go.
Yeah. Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Oh, of course. It's all for the team. All for the team in the city first, and creating that culture that we with, man. Just giving that awareness to everything we doing, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It's the joy about it. When you see people that really click into what you're doing, they're like, I know what y'all doing. And not only that, like I said, the connections and the stuff that we doing, like we done gave scholarships to the babies out here. We done gave money to the babies. We done handed babies toys. Like, you see us doing what we doing. Like, it's not just like, oh yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. And you, like 2 weeks later, you don't hear nothing or see nothing from it.
Mm-hmm.
They're definitely behind these scenes working on everything we tell y'all about, man. It really is. It's for the city, man.
Yeah.
Facts.
Putting the city of Olean on the map.
Yes,
Much
sir.
respect.
I'm the satellite.
The floor is yours. Yeah, give you shout outs. I appreciate your time.
Shout out my team. That's it. That's all. Shout out my team.
And Ian, shout out to Ian for having us, man. Appreciate you.
Oh, facts.
Shout out to HHDG Media. Aye.
There's too many people to name, man. There really is. But, a lot of people, you know who you are, who got to influence us in a positive way. But thank you so much for having us. This is the first time we've done an interview all together.
Hey.
That's great.
There's a milestone I'll remember forever, for real.
So this is one of those moments, my man. Thank you.
Yep.
You gave us one of those moments.
Sure. No, I appreciate you.
Culture out.
Hey.
Appreciate you.
And I'm putting up all your Linktree links in the comments for everyone to go check out.
Here we go.
Everything that y'all do.
Check out the culture. Shout out to everybody who got their hand from with it, man. For real. It's a collective thing. To see us do it, y'all know what we do it for. Y'all know who we do it for, man.
Stay tuned for more.
Hey.
Once again, Black Fest 3, the trilogy is out now. Definitely go check that out. Share it. Support it. Be exposed to so much more music that they have. On behalf of HHDG Media, we're going to say peace.
Peace.
Hey. Hope y'all enjoyed that.